Welcome to the Screen the Screener College Basketball Podcast with your hosts, Mike Randle and Gus Kearns.
We are on the hunt. We, as college basketball fans, are on the hunt for the next Loyola Chicago. We are on the hunt for the next Buffalo. We're on the hunt for the next Middle Tennessee State against Michigan State. We want to find those small, mid-major schools that maybe are not as well known nationally that should be. We are on the proverbial hunt. That's what makes March Madness. The upsets, the schools that in their area, the fans know how great they are, but maybe across the country they don't. And that's what we look for here on the Screen the Screener College Basketball Podcast. My partner Gus and I, we love the small schools. We champion them because that is where the magic is. And so today we have a real treat for you. We have head coach Joe Mihalich of the Hofstra Pride. The Hofstra Pride are one of those teams, sitting 13-3 atop the Colonial Athletic Association Conference. They went out, they had a challenging non-conference schedule, and so far they're on a 10-game winning streak. That was capped by senior guard Justin Wright-Foreman's half-court three-pointer banked in to defeat preseason favorite Northeastern. Justin Wright-Foreman right now is performing at quite a high level for the Hofstra Pride, averaging 26.7 points per game, second in the nation. He sits only behind Chris Clemens of Campbell in highest Division I scoring average. But this Hofstra Pride team is not just Justin Wright-Foreman. They have Eli Pemberton averaging 14 points per game, fellow senior Deshore Bowie at 10 points per game, 5 assists a game, and they have a bunch of transfers. Transfers are such a hot thing now in college basketball, but people want to come to Hofstra. They want to play for Coach Mihalich. You have junior guard Tariq Coburn, who transferred from St. Bonaventure, averaging 8.3 points per game and 4.7 rebounds per game. You have senior Jaquil Taylor, who transferred from Purdue after sitting behind Caleb Swanigan and sitting behind Isaac Haas, and has really blossomed for Hofstra, averaging 6.3 points per game and grabbing 7.6 rebounds per game. And you have another senior transfer, Dan Dwyer, who came over from Penn, and he's given them big minutes, averaging 17 minutes per game, but helping out with 2.9 points, 3.7 rebounds, as well as a half a block and a half a steal per game. This Hofstra team has all the makings of what a sleeper in March would be. They have leadership, they have senior guards, they have transfers who are hungry, they have great chemistry going right now, and they have a great coach in head coach Joe Mihalich. So let's hear what Coach Mihalich has to say about his 10-game winning streak, 13-3 overall, Hofstra Pride. Please welcome to the Screen the Screener podcast, head coach Joe Mihalich of the Hofstra Pride. Coach Mihalich's in his 6th season in the helm in Hofstra. He's done an outstanding job. The Pride has averaged nearly 18 wins per season, and this year Hofstra is rolling 13-3 overall, and they are the only undefeated team in the CAA conference. Coach Mihalich, thanks so much for joining us today. How you doing?
Mike, doing great. Thanks for having me, and Happy New Year to you and everybody.
Happy New Year to you also, Coach, and a nice way to celebrate it here. You're 3-0 in the conference after that thrilling 75-72 win over Northeastern. Conference preseason player of the year, Justin Wright-Foreman, he banks in that half-court buzzer beater to win the game. That's not a bad way, Coach, to get your 10th straight win, huh?
Yeah, that was a special day, and, you know, great players make great plays, and Justin is just that. I mean, he just, you know, tell you what, we were playing a really good team, down nine with 4 minutes to go, and geez, we just found a way. I'm really proud of our guys.
And, Coach, you have to be pleased with your defense there at the end of the game. Northeastern did not score a basket from the field since the Pusaka 3 with 5:11 left. Team is so efficient on offense every year, of course, but the defense really stepped up in that game to get a win against a Northeastern team that was the preseason favorite going into the conference play.
Yeah, that's the key right there. I mean, hey, listen, as I just said, we're down 9 with 4 minutes to go. You have to be really good at both ends to figure out a way to win, and we were. Our guys were. So appreciate that.
And Coach Justin Wright-Foreman, I mean, it's someone here. We're local. We're in New Jersey. You're on Long Island. We know how great he is, but nationally, he's just getting the attention I think he deserves. He's the second leading scorer in Division I, 26.7 points per game, averaging almost 5 rebounds, 4 assists, and his percentage numbers are off the chart. 51% from the field, 43% from the three-point line, and 85% from the free throw line. He had 42 against Northeastern. Talk about Wright-Foreman and how country needs to know really what sort of special player this kid is.
Well, you know what I admire so much about Justin is that he's handled this. I mean, every game you can win. Think about this, Mike. You know this. Every game that we play, he is the name that is circled on the scouting report. He's the guy that gets the best defensive player. He's the guy that the TV, radio, newspaper people are looking at, and he's handled it. He's handled it with incredible grace and composure and, all those things. And he's just, my goodness, it's just amazing what he's done. To be so efficient, as you just mentioned, and to still be so productive and to still, when the lights are bright and the pressure is on, he doesn't even, I don't know if pressure exists in his mind. So it's all those things that impress you, that he's handled the limelight, the attention, this is what's expected of you tonight, and he's just handled it so well.
Coach, and that's it. You want your star player there not to feel the pressure, and he certainly hits big shots. Coming into this year, the Colonial is a very tough conference. A lot of underrated talent across the board. Grant Riller can fill it up. Kay Cock leads the nation in rebounding. William and Mary shoots at over 40% from three. And then James Madison just beat College of Charleston as well, who was the top team last year. What were some of the things that you were focusing on this year coming into conference play? You knew you were going to have a good team. You have strong senior leadership, but what were some of the internal things that you and the coaching staff wanted to focus on here as you headed into the Colonial Conference play?
Well, one of them was what you mentioned. We knew we had to be better defensively. Our conference last year was ranked top to bottom, first in offensive efficiency in the country. Now, there's 32 conferences. Our conference is the one that ranked first in offensive efficiency, which, just simply means everybody can score in our league. Everybody can score. So, we kind of say, all right, if everybody can score, the team that can play a little bit better defensively is going to have more success. So, our team's been better defensively. We just have. We've done a great job of shutting some key players down the other team and making them work a little harder, and it's been good.
Coach, I got to ask you also about what is the magic potion that you got for the free throws. You are leading the country right now, shooting 79.6% from the free throw line. That's up from last year where you were 68%. That is a huge advantage late in the game that your team on average shoots about 80% from the free throw line.
So I didn't even know that. I knew early in the year we were way up there. I didn't even know that. Hey, listen, you know what? I'll be honest with you. You want the magic potion? We never talk about it.
Really? Okay.
We don't even, and don't laugh, we don't even work on it that much. We don't. It's one of those weird things, like, it can be a contagious. Well, first of all, it starts with this. I mean, we got good shooters. We got good shooters and we got tough kids. And, the old expression, tough kids make foul shots. Well, that's a fact. It's not just that's just like coach speak. That's a fact. Tough kids make foul shots. They want to be on the line at the end of the game. They like being on the line at the end of the game. And that's why we make them. The skill and the toughness part of it, that's why we're good at it. But honestly, we don't talk about it. We don't practice it that much. We just, I think the people that do, it gets in your head. So, we just let it go.
You have senior and upperclassmen leadership across the board. Let's go in the backcourt there. You have senior Deshore Bowie, of course, New York City point guard. He stepped right into the starting lineup. He's a thief on defense, really tough kid, 2.2 steals per game. And junior Eli Pemberton as well, your second leading scorer, 14 points per game. So talk about that backcourt there. Wright-Foreman, Pemberton, Bowie. That's as solid as you're going to get there, in terms of leading your team and really being able to make plays on both ends.
Well, forget basketball for a second. Like you're talking about, we'll come back to that in a second. But it really is those guys. I mean, their personalities, their influence in the locker room and off the floor, and just before and after practice, as much as during practice. Those three guys, they just lead our team. they set the tone, and it's we especially DeJour. I mean, DeJour and Justin are so close. I mean, they're so close. It's a plus because DeJour can be the one to get on Justin when he has to, and not too many people can get on the star player. A freshman's not going to get on Justin and say, "Hey, come on," but DeJour can do it, and it's kind of fun. We get a kick out of that.
And talk about in the front court as well, you have a couple transfers who've really played well for you. You have Tariq Coburn, who transferred from St. Bonaventure. He's playing fantastic, 8 points, 5 rebounds per game. And this year, Jaquil Taylor, who I know was sort of a big sort of question mark coming in, but it was somebody that you were high on, transferred over from Purdue. He's averaging 6.3, leading your team in rebounding as well, 7.6. So talk about those two forwards there and the impact as transfers they've had coming over on your team.
Well, and then the third one will be Danny Dwyer, who
Sure.
combines with Jaquil in the middle there to give us 40 minutes. Jaquil goes 25 or 30 or something like that. Danny does the rest, and between the two of them, they've made up for the graduation loss we had last year with Rokas Kustis, who seemed to get every rebound. But they've been good. And and Tariq Coburn's been terrific. I mean, a year ago, I don't know if I would have said, "Hey, just look out for this guy. He's going to be unbelievable." I wouldn't have said that because he just had to go out there and prove it, and he has. So, those three guys have all been terrific. I mean, they, when transferring is just, unfortunately, a very popular thing in college basketball. And I always say this, that the most important thing about that is, as somebody's transferring in, you got to make sure they still have that twinkle in their eye. You got to make sure they still love the game. You got to make sure they're not so discouraged or beaten down by a bad experience at the previous school that they're not enjoying it and they're not having fun and they're not, and these guys are all, you can't get them out of the gym. All three of them are just having fun and playing hard and enjoying the experience.
Hey, Coach, absolutely true. And you mentioned Gustis there. He left Hofstra, 1,305 career rebounds. He's second in the league behind Navy's David Robinson. What was your plan there to replace him up front? I mean, that he was grabbing every rebound, like you said. You knew you were going to have the star guards in the backcourt, but what were your thoughts coming into the year in terms of, I guess, replacing him with a couple guys, or was there, sort of an offensive scheme here that you decided to change up? Because that's a big loss inside.
Yeah, we kind of just talked about it. You don't do it with one guy. I mean, there's no one guy that can come in and do what Rock did. And so that's why these two guys have done a great job of combining to replace him.
Yeah, Coach, you did a great job in the non-conference as well. Tough road game. You had Marshall, you had Maryland, VCU. When you set your non-conference schedule, what goes into that? Are you planning a year or two ahead, or you trying to get some balance there? What's your thought process? Because you have a real strong non-conference schedule, I think, and of course you're going to be balancing it with a great schedule in conference.
Yeah, it's the hardest part of the job. I say it all the time. Scheduling. Now, it's not the most important. Your recruiting is more important. What you do during your practice time is more important. Player development. The decisions you make with game time adjustments. All that's more important, but it's not harder. The hardest part of the job is scheduling, because if you have Justin Wright-Foreman on your team, nobody wants to play it. So it's a hard thing to do. And it's an inexact science. And it's funny, I was with a booster this morning, and he was saying, "Gee, I wish that game would have been on a different night." I said, it's hard enough to get the game, let alone pick the night out. You've got, nobody wants to come here and play. Everybody has exam schedules you got to worry about. And it's a hard thing to do. So, yeah, I was proud of it. And, we had those three teams you mentioned. They make you better. They get you ready for your league play. And we played Ryder, who's the best team in the MAC. We played Stony Brook, who's one of the best teams in American East. And, usually it's a down year. I mean, I respect the heck out of these two programs, but Siena and Monmouth aren't great this year. Usually that's and Manhattan, those three really good games to schedule. And I think the schedule was, and I'm proud of what we did. I mean, the best team we had here, the team that won the regular season championship in 2016, I think I have that year, right? We were 8-5 in non-conference. This team was 10-3. So, yeah, we're proud of it.
And, of course, now we'll look at the upcoming schedule. You go on the road now, Coach. You're at William & Mary on Thursday, then at Elon, then you host UNC Wilmington and Charleston coming home here. So 5 of your next 7 games. After that, 3 in a row on the road here. You're going to have to be road warriors. Talk about these teams coming up. What are your thoughts heading into a really difficult part of the schedule?
Yeah. I mean, listen, we're tickled to death to be where we are. we're very proud to be where we are. But we're so early. I should know this. I was a math major. What's 1/6? I mean, that's what it is. 3 out of 18 league games. That's all we played. Just 3 out of 18. We got 15 league games, and all 3 of them were at home. So we know, and we also know this, that tough kids, tough teams, good teams, championship teams went on the road, and we haven't proven that yet. So we got to go do that. We had a couple good wins on the road. Storybook was a good one on the road, and we had VCU beat, and doggone it, same on us, but we didn't quite pull it out. We lost in overtime, but we didn't win. So we have a lot to prove. I mean, as I said, we're really proud of where we are. We've done well. We're not going to deny that, but we got a long way to go to really prove that we're worthy of winning a championship.
Well, Coach Mihalich, we can't thank you enough for a few minutes here. Hofstra, folks, is rolling. They are rolling in the CAA. They are a major issue both locally here in our area and across the nation. We've talked about Wright-Foreman. Coach Mihalich's done a fantastic job in his 6 years at Hofstra. The Pride is here. They're a major issue, Coach, and we wish you nothing but the best of luck in the rest of the season, and we will be rooting for you here in the tri-state area. Thanks so much for a few minutes.
I can't thank you enough for those kind comments, and I hope we're going to do all we can to keep getting better and keep this going. So thanks, Mike.
Cozy in the candlelight.